From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Nick Savage, Private Eye.
At Bellevue Hospital? What's
wrong?
wrong?
Are you at headquarters?
Yeah.
A truck ran over Mike Flynn, and I'm sure it was deliberate.
But he's alive, I hope.
He was 4 hours ago when I dragged him in here.
Indestructible Mike.
Sure this time.
What about that truck? Did you get the license?
Yeah, the boys at the first precinct are working on it. Check with them, will you, while I stay here at the hospital?
Sure.
Find out how long that Glad Hammer-escape mission has been in existence.
Place where old Mike's been living? Why?
I don't know. Yet.
Sure, and you let me know when Mike's out of danger, huh?
Better pray a little bit, Randy.
Tonight and every weekday night.
The further adventures of Nick Savage, Private Eye. Another day, another case.
The Indestructible Mike matter.
Expense account submitted by investigator Nick Savage, Private Eye. The investigation of the Indestructible Mike matter. The old-time racketeer looked like a cinch. Pick up a Bowery bum like Mike Flynn, insure his life for 50 grand, give him a few weeks of high living, and then knock him off the insurance. I knew as sure as I was sitting there that Cosgrave was behind the knifing and the shooting and this accident involving Mike. Oh, yeah, can I sit down?
Dollar? Very short, I believe. There's a phone call for you at the floor desk. This way, please.
How's Mike? How is he?
You'll be able to see him shortly. Here you are.
Thanks. Nick Savage.
I was quite sure that you'd be there at the hospital. This is J. Wesley Cosgrave.
What made you think I'd be at the hospital?
Why, because of the accident to Michael Jeremiah Flynn. I find it helpful to know about a lot of things that don't get into the papers.
Your boy goofed. Mike's still alive.
My boy?
You know as well as I do, Dutchie, that one of your mom was behind the wheel of that truck that ran him down.
You better keep your yap shut, Burr. I thought I made it plain to you earlier that I no longer have any connection with the doings of the, shall we say, underworld.
Oh, sure.
As for poor old Mike, I understand it was an accident, a very
Knock it off. You know what happened.
Did you see the driver of the truck?
You say he wasn't one of your boys, so what difference would it make to you?
Why, none at all. Did you see him?
Why don't you worry about that for a while? Again, I waited. Sat and waited. Paced the corridor of the hospital. Outside, the sun finally sank slowly behind the skyscrapers. And I waited. Smoked. Waited. Finally, it must have been close to midnight, a nurse led me quietly down the hall. Took me to the private room I set aside for Mike. She pushed open the door for me and walked away. And there, lo and behold, was Mike. Wearing a smile a mile wide. Indestructible Mike. Oh, Mike, you old reprobate.
Hi there, John. How about this, John? Isn't this swell? Isn't this the finest place you ever saw? Really? Here I am now. But I guess I had those doctors scared. Oh, my. You just should have seen the way they fluttered around. And those nurses. I never saw such beautiful ladies in all my life. And so nice. And doesn't it smell good in here? The disinfectant they use in here is much nicer than Daddy Bill has at the mission. And you know something? I haven't seen a single bed bug. Not even a cockroach.
Glad you're in one piece.
Oh, sure I am. But an old bum hasn't any right in a pretty place like... Oh, anyhow, you talk.
Yeah. You shouldn't talk so much, Mike. You need some rest. Some time to heal up.
Broken? Oh, me?
You need rest. Quiet. Here, I'll turn off this light. I'll see you.
But,
Yeah.
how can I just sleep?
Too much pain, huh? Want the nurse to give you a
Oh, they
hypo?
fill me up with more needles than you ever saw, but there's only one real painkiller, you know.
And I'll see you later.
Yeah.
If the hospital staff knew that I was back in this room a few minutes later with a bottle, I probably would have been kicked out and lost my license as a professional investigator. But the smile on his face was so blissful as he fell asleep made me know that I'd done the right thing. Couldn't believe he'd pulled through. But I knew they wouldn't give up, not with $50,000 at stake. 50,000 more to line the pockets of Dutchie Gordon. Well, it sure was just as much of a racketeer as ever. The police had nothing on him. My job was to find one of the mobsters and make him sing. But how? Guess I was still thinking or dreaming about it when my phone rang the next morning.
Nick Savage, right?
Nick Savage, Private Eye.
Hey, you still in bed?
Randy.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna call me. Is he still alive?
He sure was when I last saw him last night about
Well,
midnight.
that's a miracle after what that truck did to him. And say,
Yeah.
the boys downtown found that truck.
Yeah?
Yeah, it had been stolen and was abandoned.
Did they find any prints on it?
Plenty. Lefty Skillman.
Have they picked him up?
Yeah, they found him all right, tied up in a sack floating in the East River. Old-time gangsters.
I knew that when Cosgrave got involved with this, something bad
Yeah,
would happen.
Mike's gonna be okay?
Randy, he was sitting up in bed like a cockatoo. He was ready to go back to the Glenhat rescue
Huh?
mission.
Bless his foolish heart.
Did you find out anything for me about the clubhouse?
Yeah, that's what I called you about. Well, according to the records, the building was put up in 1901
As a mission?
as a piano store. 1901 to 1906, real respectable place.
What about after that?
Well, that section began to degenerate. 1906 to 18 was a cheap grocery store. From 1918 to 22 was a second-hand clothing store and a speakeasy till 1929.
Keep going.
Well, I guess the Depression knocked that out because next it was a saloon.
How long?
Let's see, 1944. That's when William Grover Larkin took over the lease.
Daddy Bill.
I knew it, Randy, I knew it. Dutch Gordon alias Wesley J. Cosgrave told me he'd had a handout from that mission when he was just a kid. That would have been 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's only been a mission for 12, but... Hey, wait a minute. The lease on that property, when it was a speakeasy, was in the name of Larkin, too.
Add one more fact, Randy, and you see what I'm getting at.
What's that?
Your own police file shows Cosgrave was still in the rackets back in 44.
Yeah, but on a charge that we couldn't substantiate.
Right. Time up. Cosgrave was a rum runner during Prohibition.
Oh, whoa, now, boy, you're trying to build a case on purely circumstantial evidence.
Alright, but I think I can make it stick. Now listen. Where does Cosgrave get the thugs for the jobs he pulls? He gets them out of the flop house.
Yeah, wow, hey, maybe it does tie it.
Oh, you bet it does. At least I'm gonna tie
No,
it
take
up.
it easy. Just how are
Well,
you
the
going to
first
go
thing I'm
about
gonna
it?
do is hold it.
What's the matter?
Somebody outside my door. I can hear him. Hold on, Randy.
Yeah, no, wait a minute.
All right, what do you think you're doing?
Johnny, hello!
In blackness, and a dark, heavy throbbing in my head.
A second before I passed out, I vaguely remember hearing a voice, whoever it was, and the sound of footsteps running away, and then darkness. After a long time, another familiar voice. was brandy, I think. Then could see some figures and see people standing over me, and then more darkness, weird sounds in my brain. Familiar sounds too, but they seem meaningless. Just meaningless. I couldn't make any sense of it.
What's smart? And blackness again. But a soft, quiet, peaceful blackness.
Peaceful darkness.
That's the problem. Wake up. That's right. Isn't it nice they put you in the same room with me? Yeah. Your policeman friend saw to it, and he told me something, and he's right. You've got to be careful. They're out to get you, too.
Now, here's our star to tell you about the final intriguing episode of this week's story.
Mike may have been indestructible, but I knew by now that I wasn't. So tomorrow, the wind-up. Join us, won't you, for another exciting adventure of Nick Savage, Private Eye.
Transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of
Nick Savage, Private Eye.
Roy Rowan speaking.